dusting off my crystal ball and adding a few of my personal hopes for 2009, I predict and aspire toward the following. 1, I'm optimistic about urban renewal and legacy crossing. We are becoming more aware of consumers' preferences for compact, accessible, human-scaled, energy-efficient facilities near work, recreation, shopping, entertainment, dining, public transit, and medical care, and I might add the university. And across the country, consumers are demonstrating their expectations and their willingness to pay for these features. One concept for legacy crossing involves adaptive reuse of large grain elevators, potentially to include a surround view research facility called an allosphere. The only one existing now is in Santa Barbara, California. Proximity to downtown and the University of Idaho make this site ideally suited to uses envisioned by the developers, and Idaho Smart Growth recently presented them with the 2008 Mixed Use Award. 2, I anticipate that governmental entities in the Palouse Basin will join Idaho Department of Water Resources, Washington Department of Ecology, scientific and legal experts, the EPA, and other agencies in taking the first steps to design a model for watershed management. This will include setting common standards, planning and funding for an alternative water supply, addressing the risks of emerging contaminants, and making clear that we cannot sustain economic growth without sufficient quantities of clean water. 3, as directed by the EPA, I predict the City Council will continue to seek solutions for managing stormwater, potentially to include a stormwater utility. Item 4, I predict that we will identify an industrial park site to facilitate the design, manufacture, and distribution of products to create new jobs and diversify our local economy. 5, the comprehensive plan will be finalized, at least until the next time, and will take the next step to develop a unified zoning code to implement the vision set forward by the citizens of Moscow. 6, affordable workforce and senior housing programs will grow out of necessity and market demand. 7, we mustn't allow the long-sought ball field on Palouse River Drive to drop from our priorities. 8, the city will continue to look for ways to be more efficient and to stretch our budget. Our new voice-over internet protocol, the VoIP, was just installed last week. We estimate that it will save us $1,000 a month in telephone expenses. We'll replace depreciated and outmoded vehicles in the city and the municipal fleet with more efficient ones, including electrics and hybrids, which we anticipate will be more numerous in the market in the near future. In conclusion, Moscow enjoys a unique and enviable reputation. We are rich in so many ways. It is our collective privilege and obligation to assume the challenge of diversifying and growing the economy without sacrificing the quality of life here. On the heels of President Obama's inaugural address, it is important and prudent that we take his inspirational messages to heart and to act on them. He reminded us that, quote, we remain the most prosperous, powerful nation on earth. Our workers are no less productive than when this crisis began. Our minds are no less inventive, our goods and services no less needed than they were last week or last month or last year. Our capacity remains undiminished. He said, our challenges may be new. The instruments with which we meet them may be new, but those values upon which our success depends, hard work and honesty, courage and fair play, tolerance and curiosity, loyalty and patriotism, these things are old. These things are true. They have been the quiet force of progress throughout our history. What is demanded then is a return to these truths. The President called upon each of us to help each other and our nation to prosper and to restore confidence. This is true at all levels of government and within all aspects of our community. The old quiet truths to which the President referred are alive and well in this room today. Witness the product of hard work and the courage of commitment reflected in our revitalized 1912 Center. Recognize the generosity and community-mindedness of our predecessors and those who continue to inspire our community today. The President talked about fair play, tolerance, and patriotism. all important parts of Moscow's representative and participatory governance. Happily, he also mentioned curiosity, a trait that inspires us to excel and to stay connected. Curiosity may have drawn you to today's address, but the reality is that most of you already knew the state of our city. We know that neighbors help neighbors, that our community is safe, that the arts and recreation keep us healthy in body and spirit, that we have many fewer boarded up storefronts than we see on the national news. To a large extent, the state of our city is what we make of it, what we believe, and what actions we take. We are not immune from the hardships of the local economic recession, but it is important to remind ourselves that we can influence how we manage local challenges locally. Buy local is one such example. As we have been doing so successfully, let's take a slow and steady approach for the long run to listen to the languages of economics and ecology, to balance sustainability with profitability, to preserve those qualities that make life in Moscow so exceptional, and to be inspired to guide it toward becoming even better. Thank you again for your interest in the state of our city, and Director Hacker, time permitting, I will take some questions.